And it looked like the New York Liberty just got the biggest help from the WNBA referees to beat. Watch this right here, because I'm telling you right now, this is bad, bro. My God, bro. Let me try to blow it up. Watch this.
Screening action down low. Clark has to get open. 1 second left.
Foul right there. Boom.
Clark doesn't get the shot off. Cloud locks her up. And New York comes into Indianapolis and takes the checkered flag.
Caitlin Clark just got completely robbed after nailing what could have been the buzzer beater of the year. I mean, the shot was pure magic. But the refs? Total disaster. The same Caitlin Clark lighting up scoreboards is now stuck in a ref-induced controversy reel. What happened? Just bad officiating? Or is there a deeper, dirtier love affair with the Liberty we're not seeing? The WNBA refs have apparently traded in their whistles for drama school diplomas because their latest performance could win a Tony Award for Best Delusional Officiating. And who's their unlucky VIP guest? Caitlin Clark, dragged into the madness like it's dinner theater with no exit. It's become painfully clear that in the WNBA, consistency and fairness are more of a suggestion than a standard, especially if it means helping the New York Liberty strut off with another questionable victory.
We don't just say, oh, the refs, no. We put names on it. We put names on it. When the referees aren't good, we put names on it. Angelica, Ryan, Aegon, Abazi, folks, I'm watching that game. I noticed Aegon's bald head from anywhere. I can be over here in New Jersey, look out my window and be like, oh, that's Aegon over there. What's he doing down the street? He doesn't live anywhere over here. I can recognize that bald head. I can pick that bald head out of a lineup. Don't show me his face, just show me the shine. Show me the glisten on the top of his head and I can say, yeah, that's Aegon. These three referees were atrocious today. But I do want to say, Ryan Cesano, I did a lot of calling out referees last year. Ryan, I'm not too familiar with you, Ryan. But now you are on my radar.
Let's not pretend the Liberty aren't a powerhouse. They've got the talent, the rhythm, the bench, and the swagger to go all the way. But something felt off. The whistles were coming in hot and heavy, like someone was trying to meet a foul quota before the buzzer. It started looking less like fair play and more like a weird loyalty program. Commit a foul near a Liberty player, earn a penalty, and maybe some bonus points. I mean, by the third quarter, the whole thing turned into a bizarre spectacle where Caitlin Clark seemed to be the designated target while the refs acted like they were auditioning for some experimental street theater on how not to officiate a game.
It was one of the worst refereed games. It was one of the worst refereed games I've seen. But in a long time.
Let's talk about the play that practically lit itself on fire and screamed into a megaphone that the rulebook had been tossed out the window and was now floating gently over the Pacific Ocean. Caitlin Clark, as usual, was deep in her wizard mode, running the court like it owed her rent, dicing through defenders like a samurai at peak caffeine consumption, and casually hauling the Indiana Fever around like she was personally responsible for saving basketball itself. With the seconds vanishing and tension thick enough to spread on toast, she cut through the paint like she was auditioning for an action movie, eyes sharp, legs pumping, fate waiting just inches away. This wasn't just some routine play, it was pure drama. Think movie finale energy, complete with imaginary camera zooms, invisible orchestras blaring, and that unmistakable air of something legendary about to unfold. Then, just as the climax hit, boom! Impact. The kind of contact so egregious, even a sleep-deprived pigeon flying over the stadium could have called it. We're talking full contact absurdity, the kind of hit that usually comes with a helmet and a whistle. Yet somehow, mysteriously, cosmically, the officials squinted into the abyss and saw nothing.
Shout out to Stephanie White, the Fever coach stood up for her team. She demanded respect and she blasted the refs.
On the court, Caitlin was sprawled out like a gladiator who just got blindsided by friendly fire, eyes darting around in disbelief, her face stuck somewhere between volcanic rage and complete mental error message. Right then and there, in a high-stakes showdown where milliseconds meant everything, the refs apparently chose to unplug reality and freestyle the ending. The whistle swallowed itself, the ball zipped the opposite direction, and the pivotal moment dissolved like cheap magic. Somewhere, 1,000 smartphones were being clenched mid-scream. The outrage was instant and deafening. You could feel the internet cracking its knuckles. Caitlin's expression, a cinematic punch to the gut. Every twitch of her jaw, every twitch of her eyebrow spelled out what no words could. This wasn't just about losing possession or a shot at victory. It was about being mugged in daylight under the full glare of the spotlight. Not just cheated out of points, but robbed of the belief that playing by the book ever matters when the refs set it on fire.
Some controversy on that last play, no doubt about it. In my opinion, it looked like Natasha Cloud probably fouled her. It was not called. The referees love to swallow their whistles at that time, that part of the game, but then again, they did not swallow their whistles with the foul call on Lexi Hall against Sabrina Ionescu.
She never pleaded or lost her cool. Instead, she rose up, brushed away the frustration and exhaustion, and prepared to keep pushing forward. Yet the burn lingered. Everyone noticed it. Everyone understood it. That instant when you realize the field isn't as fair as they claimed. This wasn't just a bad call, it was a signal, a reminder that no matter how many standout performances you deliver, how much you lift your teammates, how many milestones you shatter or fans you draw, it can all be wiped away by a moment of careless bureaucracy. That decision doesn't just alter the points. It ripples through locker rooms, spills into media interviews, floods social feeds, and fuels endless debates in every corner of the community. It clings to the sport like sticky residue on a shoe, unpleasant, persistent, and impossible to shake off.
It took us 4 games for Stephanie White to say, I've had enough. It's taken 4 games for Stephanie White to say, you know what? I've had absolute enough. Game 1, okay. Game 2, okay. Game 3, all right. But today was the last straw when it came for Stephanie White. The New York Liberty get to the free throw line 32 times.
Imagine if it were a veteran star, someone everyone in the league respects with multiple all-star appearances. Would the referees have ignored the foul then? What if the name on the back wasn't Clark? That's the harsh reality no one wants to admit aloud. Situations like this strip away the shiny illusion of fairness in sports. Suddenly, the idea that everyone gets a fair shot looks downright ridiculous. The belief that talent alone drives success shatters with a single missed call. But this wasn't just a simple oversight. It felt like a slap in the face, a slap to determination, a slap to skill. Caitlin Clark gave everything on that court, pure passion, raw talent, and heart. And what was the result? Not even the smallest acknowledgement from the officials. Nothing but a deafening hush. No reasoning, no fairness. Just an empty space where justice should have been. And in a game where every sound carries weight, silence from the referees can be the loudest message. It screams, "You're not important enough." And that message? It echoes well beyond the court.
A replay showed Cloud pushing Clark in the shoulder the moment the ball came loose. Look, Natasha Cloud fouled Caitlin Clark. No, there's no need to overcomplicate it. Natasha Cloud fouled Caitlin Clark, and that is a call that in the end stopped them having a chance.
Let's dive into the absolute maddening, blood pressure raising, utterly absurd moment that flipped the entire game on its head. The invisible foul called against Lexi Hull that essentially handed the New York Liberty a victory on a silver platter. This was the kind of incident that makes you question whether the referees were even watching the same game or just making things up as they went along. The scoreboard was neck and neck, the tension was sky high, and then out of nowhere, the officials decided to ignore reality and award the Liberty a crucial 2-point advantage. And not because of any brilliant move, relentless effort, or legitimate foul play. No, it was apparently because they conjured up something no human being watching the game could see. Honestly, where was the foul?
This is when things went downhill. So, this is them calling a foul on Lexi Hall, right? This foul is determining. This foul right here was the reason they won the game. This foul right here, guys. The game was tight.
She turns the corner and gets downhill. I don't know, Lexi Hall vertical. Maybe that's offense initiated contact, and maybe Stephanie White's going to take a look at it.
Chance to give the Liberty the lead.
I mean, she turns the corner and gets downhill.
Guys, even the commentator said maybe that's offensive. Guys, I'm so freaking mad right now, bro.
Lexi Hull played that moment with textbook precision. No illegal contact, no grabbing, no pushing. Nothing that would warrant a whistle. If anything, her defensive effort was the kind coaches use as a highlight example for their players. Yet somehow, the referees' imaginations went into overdrive, and suddenly a foul was on the books. It felt less like a sports call and more like a dramatic performance piece, as if the refs were auditioning for a role in a soap opera instead of officiating a basketball game. Watching the replay on loop was almost cruel because every angle showed the same undeniable truth. Zero contact, absolutely nothing that resembled a foul. But hey, let's just pretend she broke some invisible rule and award the other team free points. Why not? That moment wasn't just a bad call, it was the kind of injustice that shifts momentum, crushes hope, and leaves fans shaking their heads in disbelief. It's the kind of officiating blunder that will be remembered not for the skill on display, but for the sheer unfairness that altered the outcome when the stakes were highest.
I think some of the calls, and I hate to dwell on the referees. You guys know I don't like to do it because I really don't like to pay attention to the sports police, but I feel like they are part of the story here. At the end, the last play, Caitlin Clark has a chance to attack going left with Natasha Cloud. She sticks the hand in, kind of looks like a clean steal, can't really tell. You can call that as a reach. Refs choose not to. Stephanie White chooses not to challenge. You think about the foul on the previous play with Sabrina and how she went at Lexi Hull. They call it that time. Bonner gets whacked on the other end. They don't do anything. I don't know, man. I don't know how to feel about this. I feel like it was kind of stolen from the Fever a little bit here.
At this point, trying to understand what WNBA referees consider a foul is like trying to interpret abstract art blindfolded. One moment, a player flails like she just slipped on a banana peel in a soap opera, and the next thing you know, the whistle blows. And not against the overactor, but against the rookie phenom actually playing basketball. That's right. The officials saw Indiana's Caitlin Clark, who's basically responsible for tripling league ticket sales and bringing eyeballs to a sport that was struggling to trend on Twitter, and decided she was the problem. Her crime? Apparently existing. With the seriousness of a Supreme Court ruling, they assessed a foul on Clark because standing near a defender while being talented now violates some unwritten emotional safety guideline. She gets punished for the audacity of being good. No blood, no flop, no foul, nah, new rule. If Caitlin breathes too assertively within arm's reach, blow the whistle like the building's on fire. So she gets benched. Momentum, gone. The Fever go from red hot to ice cold in seconds, not because of strategy or skill, but because the people with whistles have delusions of Shakespearean drama. Somewhere in the bowels of the arena, you can almost hear the refs high-fiving each other for leveling the playing field, as if that's what fans showed up for. Parody by sabotage.
Indiana Fever, y'all fucking blew it, man. Y'all was up 12 points on the Liberty, and y'all stunk it up and shit the bed down the stretch in the fourth to give them the lead and lose the goddamn game.
But the inconsistencies don't end there. When Clark actually gets hammered, arms raked, shoulders shoved, ribs compressed like an accordion, the officiating crew collectively pretends to be bird watchers. Nothing to see here, folks. Back to your regularly scheduled gaslighting. The selective blindness is astounding. It's like there's a whole separate set of laws in play, ones written in invisible ink, only readable by those wearing striped shirts and ego problems. What fans are witnessing isn't objective rule enforcement, it's theatrical improvisation with a scoreboard. And Clark, unfortunately, is cast as the disruptive understudy who dares to steal the spotlight. Maybe there's a secret manual floating around that says, no rookie shall draw too much attention unless properly vetted by the gatekeepers of mediocrity. Whatever the case, one thing's clear. Caitlin isn't just playing basketball anymore. She's navigating an obstacle course rigged by self-important referees who fear what she represents: change, excellence, and the end of their petty little power trips.